Hello, my girls, how are you? Today we are going to do a class on English first paper, and in this session we will study Unit 4, Lesson 5. And this is the last lesson from this unit, and the title is Let's Become Skilled Workers. So let us start. So now we are going to read a conversation between Rumi and Ratan. As we will go on, you will be able to see that Rumi and Ratan are actually talking about the importance of English. Rumi: you remember my brother Raihan, don't you? He applied for a front desk job in a five-star hotel. What happened? Has he got the job? So in these two lines, we understand that Rumi and Ratan are talking about a boy named Raihan, and Raihan is Rumi's brother, and Raihan applied for a front desk job in a five-star hotel. Rumi: no, he couldn't answer most of the questions in the interview. Ratan: why? He did well in the HSC, didn't he? Rumi: yes, he did. But the recruiting officer in the interview asked him questions in English and he couldn't understand most of them. Ratan: sorry, but I have a different story to tell you. My cousin Sheila did her HSC from a college in Mymensingh. She couldn't do as well as Raihan in her exams, but she got a job as a crew member in Biman, Bangladesh. She said she had answered all the questions in English both in her written test and interview. Rumi: great, she must be good in English. Well, then the key to getting some jobs is English, isn't it? Ratan: yes, you are right. So, from this conversation, we understand the importance of English in our academic life and also in the job sector. And nowadays, the job sector is more preferable for hiring people who knows better English, both spoken and written, and also who are technologically advanced. That means who can use technology in a better way. So in the next part, I have something for you, and then you have to do a task. So after this conversation, you can see that there is an exercise for you. In exercise number C, you are told to discuss in groups, and in fact, it is a spoken part. And there are two questions. In question number 1, it is told to try to find out why English is needed for a good hotel front desk job and a flight crew member. And in number 2, it is told to choose you to 2 or 3 other jobs where English is needed and write why and how English is used in those jobs. And now I am going to provide you the answer for question number 1, and I will give a clue for answering question number 2. So answer for question number 1 is there come different groups of customers in a good hotel. These customers may be of the same country or from any other foreign country. Foreign people seek for a good five-star hotel because of the facilities. As they enter a hotel, they head toward the front desk for asking different types of queries. So, the person working in the front desk must know English to communicate with people from home and abroad. Again, a flight includes many national and international passengers. So, a flight crew member must know not only English but also know good English to communicate smartly. So I have just tried to give you some idea why English is needed for a good hotel front desk job and a flight crew member. You can modify your answer using these clues. And for question number 2, I have just given the name of some jobs and you have to demonstrate how these sectors demand English for doing work. In question number 2, it is told to find 3 other jobs where English is needed and you have to write why and how English is used in those jobs. I have just uh, provided you the name of the jobs like in R&D sector, foreign ministry, high commission or embassy, travel guide, international NGO, multinational companies. In this sector, we need written English as well as spoken English more necessarily. So now your homework is now write a dialogue between you and your friend Mariam about the importance of English in job sector. But don't be so happy, this is not the end of our class. We have some other lesson, okay? Now in part D, we will read another story where Miss Chaudhary says her students about learning English. Today there are many jobs where you need English. This is because the world has become smaller. Vast distances are shortened by speedy transports. We can talk to a person thousands of kilometers away on the phone or the internet. So we can communicate with the whole world easily. English has made this communication easier. So in this section we are introduced to how English is needed in our everyday life and in our communicative life. In this paragraph, we find seemingly only one difficult word that is shortened, and shortened means to become less. There are many countries in the world with many languages, but to communicate with them, you cannot use all the languages. So you need a common language that you can use with more or less all the people in the world. English is that common language. You can talk to a Chinese toy maker, a French artist, an Arab ambassador, or a Korean builder in one language, English. So now we are being introduced to a common language, and this common language is English. We can communicate with the people from any countries using English language because English is an international language and this is a common language for communicating people from all over the world. And in this paragraph you can see that there is a word ambassador, and ambassador means a person who works in a high commission or an embassy. In the next paragraph, English for us in Bangladesh is all the more important. As we have seen earlier, we are too many people in a small country. So, if you learn English, you have the best opportunity to find a good job, both within and outside the country. And that is good news for millions of our unemployed youths. And in the third paragraph, we are being told how English language is the subject of more importance for our young generation because our young generation contains a huge number of unemployed people. And if we learn English in a better way to communicate with the whole world, we will be able to get smart jobs within the country and outside the country. And we will be able to migrate in other countries. So, if we can learn better English, we will be able to get more chance to go outside of the country or to migrate in other countries. But miss, we learn English for 12 or 14 years, yet we do not find good jobs, says Rumi. She then tells the class about what happened to her brother. Could you please tell us why? Rumi asks. So in this paragraph, Rumi is telling about the sorrowful situation of his brother who faced an interview for a front desk job and he couldn't get that job. And in the next paragraph, Miss Chaudhry will be explaining the reason behind not getting the job. This is a very important question, Rumi. We should learn how to use English both orally and in writing for doing things as needed in our work, such as communicating with others at personal, social, national, and international levels. But unfortunately, at the moment we are learning English mainly for our exams. Continues Ms. Chaudhry. Remember, English can greatly help you become skilled workers. But where and how can we learn this kind of English, miss? Asks Ratan. So in paragraph number 2 from this page, we can see that Ms. Chaudhry is explaining why after learning 12 or 14 years of English, we cannot communicate well in English because we are learning English for only passing in the exams. Our purpose is to pass in the exam. But she also explained in this paragraph that we need smart English in writing as well as in spoken word, because we not only communicate in written way, we also communicate in spoken way. We communicate more orally in our day-to-day life, so it is very much necessary to learn English or spoken also. The last paragraph of this passage. But where and how can we learn this kind of English, miss? Asks Rotom. Miss Chaudhry says we can learn English both in and outside the classroom. Besides your textbooks, the radio, television, newspapers, magazines, computers, and other supplementary materials will greatly help you. During our classroom activities, we will see how we can learn English. So, in the last paragraph of this passage, Miss Chaudhry tells her students how they can learn English, and she told that the students can learn English both inside the classroom and outside the classroom. We can use the textbooks in our classroom situation, and outside the classroom we can use the radio, television, newspapers, magazines, computers, and the other supplementary materials. And this is very much important for getting into the context of the language you are trying to learn. So it is not important that you will learn English only in your classroom. So now here are some tips for you how you can learn English outside the classroom. But these tips are not from Miss Chaudhry. These tips are from Miss Brishti, and as I said before, the key to learning any language more quickly is immersion. That is, you have to be in the context of the language you want to learn. That means you have to use and you have to listen to, or you have to read more about the language or content in the language you want to learn. Say, for example, you want to learn English, so for learning it quickly, you have to listen more English, you have to read more English, you have to speak more English. So the tips are: number one, for improving your writing, read at least one page of English every day. You can even choose children's stories like Diary of Wimpy Kids, or even you can read short stories for children. Number two, write at least one page of English every day. For this purpose, use a diary and write down the most mentionable event of your day in English. The third tip is for improving your listening skill. Listen any content in English every day, at least for 30 minutes. You can listen to podcasts, TED Talks, or even you can watch English cartoons. And you can also listen to English songs. The fourth tip for you is for improving your speaking English. You can practice with your friends on the phone. Also, you will get many apps in the Google Play Store where you can get some contextual conversation. Using these apps, you will be able to record your conversation, and thus you will be able to see your gradual development in speaking. So now there is no tips for you. Now we will go to reorder some sentences for writing a paragraph. So sentence number 1, you can learn a common language in and outside the classroom. Number 2, you cannot speak all the languages of different people of different countries to communicate with them. Number 3, for example, you can do businesses with a Chinese, a Japanese, a French, an Arab, or a Nigerian if you know English. Number 4, also, other things like the radio, TV, computers, and newspapers can help you learn English. Number 5. Therefore, you need a common language, that is English, which is understood by people more or less all over the world. So, as we have gone through the sentences, we can understand this will be a paragraph about learning a common language and what is that common language and how can we learn that common language. So, for reordering the sentences, we can use sentence number 2 for the first one. That is, you cannot speak all the languages of different people of different countries to communicate with them. For the next sentence, we can use sentence number 5. Therefore, you need a common language, that is English, which is understood by people more or less all over the world. For the next sentence, we will use number 3. For example, you can do businesses with a Chinese, a Japanese, a French, an Arab, or a Nigerian if you know English. And for the next sentence, we will use number 1. You can learn a common language in and outside the classroom. And for the last sentence, we will use number 4. Also, other things like the radio, TV, computers, and newspapers can help you learn English. So here is the answer key for you. Now there is another exercise for you, and in this section we will try to fill in some gaps. Many students in Bangladesh are dash in English because of dash teaching learning system. So as we had read the passage, we understood that many students in Bangladesh are weak in English because of exam-based teaching learning system. That means number 1 will be weak and number 2 will be exam-based teaching learning system. It is necessary to develop all skills. It is necessary to develop all these 4 skills in English. So in number 3, we will use skills. We know that for learning any language, there are 4 skills, that is listening, speaking, reading, and then writing. So it is necessary to develop all these 4 skills in English. If you want to develop your speaking skill, you must practice dash English with others. You must practice speaking English with others. The writer of the passage dash that students of Bangladesh cannot learn English well because they read English for exams. So, the writer of the passage argues that students of Bangladesh cannot learn English well because they read English for exams. The last sentence. English must be learned through dash. English must be learned through practice. English must be learned through practice. And here is the answer key for you. So I hope that you have understood this class and you have got some ideas how you can improve your listening skill, speaking skill, reading skill, and writing skill. And also you have got an idea how you can write a conversation or dialogue. So see you in the next class and stay safe and keep learning.